Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 47th episode of Live from the Adelphi PAC Living Room. My name is Blythe Daylong. I am the Executive Director of the Adelphi University Performing Arts Center. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with Adelphi. Now, while we aren't able to have audiences in person, we continue to use this show to bring Adelphi's talented students, faculty, alumni, staff, and other guests to you each week. Now, we have a packed show this week. We'll be speaking with Department of Music alum and motivational coach Allison Noel. We have a preview of this weekend's Best of Broadway with director Megan Gerlach and music director Stephen Altenell. And finally, we'll talk with Orion Duckstein about our upcoming Dance Adelphi performances. Now, before we get to all of that, yesterday was our latest Live from Adelphi concert featuring Broadway composer Joe Iconis and his family of performers. This was such a great time and a really, really fun concert. This was their first time performing together since December of 2019. And for the first time, we actually had a small audience of Adelphi students there to be able to cheer them on. So it was really a wonderful, emotional afternoon filled with some really, really great music. The recording of this is available to rent until Wednesday. You still have a couple days to be able to check this out. It really was a fantastic performance. I can't gush about it enough, and I encourage all of you to check it out while it is still available before it disappears. Visit our website, adelphi.edu, live from Adelphi, or our usual PAC Adelphi, our pac.adelphi.edu website. The details are there about how you can still catch this great performance. Now, first up on the show this week, I am happy to introduce you to Allison. She graduated in vocal performance, I believe, back in 2010, but has gone on to her career in music education. She is still performing music. She has a lot of great things to talk about, but here she is with a quick cover of a Lana Del Rey song. Enjoy.
I've seen the world, done it all, had my cake now. Diamonds, brilliant, and Bel Air now. Hot summer nights, mid-July, when you and I were forever wild. The crazy days, city lights, the way you'd play with me like a child. Will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful? Will you still love me when I got nothing left but my aching soul? I know you will, I know you will, I know that you will. Will you still love me when I'm no longer beautiful?
Please welcome Allison. Hello, Allison.
Hi, how are you?
I am all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Excellent. So good to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much. I got the 2010 part right. That was right, correct?
Spot on. You got it.
Okay, good. Thank goodness. As I was saying it, I was like, oh, I hope I got that right. Okay. Well, you were a vocal performance major, and but have gone on to all kinds of other things. So tell us. We're going to talk about your book and that whole thing later, but let's just give us a little bit about sort of your path after you graduated from Adelphi. You still, and what your next steps were to get you to where you are now.
Well, I owe a huge part of my life to Adelphi University. I also swam on the swim team there, and the performing arts department was a huge part of makes me like who I am today. So it started off, it was a very small program then. We didn't have the PAC at first. So we were performing in these little sections of Adelphi with like minimal stage. And then my last 2 years there, we were in the PAC, which gave me a better performing experience. But after that, I decided to go into music education. I went to Hofstra University, but I did take a few courses under Georgia Newland at Adelphi,
Okay.
which inspired me to, want to grow as an educator. And so I ended up getting my master's from Hofstra University. I graduated pretty quickly by December 2011 and landed my first job in September 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And I started working in New York City. And it was a little bit of a whirlwind because there was a hiring freeze at the time and it was almost impossible to get a music position. But me and a few of my friends, we all just linked together and we're applying like crazy. And I started in Brownsville, Brooklyn, which is another huge part of my story because I started in the heart of New York, in a little bit of a rougher area in Brooklyn. And people are like, you work where? So yeah, I've been teaching in New York City now this is my 9th year, and it's been
Great.
quite me.
Yeah, I am sure it has been quite the experience, and that you've got lots of stories and lots of great moments and things from during that time, but it also obviously has inspired you to add some additional work onto things that we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, you are still performing music. You're still writing your own music as well as doing covers of things like we just heard. So we're going to share a piece of your music, something that you've written and are performing, correct?
Yeah, so I
Right.
just recorded a song, and a little bit more about my journey is that I stopped performing for a second, and then I ended up being in a cover band for a while. And it really just, I really just wanted to perform again. I am a performer. I love to be in front of people. I love entertaining. And that feeling, that niche like never goes away. So even after the cover band stuff kind of went away, I decided to start trying to write my own music. And I've released 3 songs since I decided to go on that journey. And this song that you're about to play is one that means a lot to me because I feel like it's my true, most authentic self, not trying to impress anyone else, but really writing for myself. And this was just released this past fall.
Great. Well, enjoy everyone this fairly new song from Allison called Surrender.
Surrender, Align, and Be.
Thank you. I only wrote down Surrender on my notes. So thank you for filling in the full title of this song.
No problem.
Enjoy, everyone.
Take a step back, take a deep breath. You will get on track. Stand up tall, you will not fall. It's time to give it your all. It won't be what you expect.
Well, thank you for that, Allison.
Thank you for playing it.
Lovely piece of music.
Thank you.
And so now you can find a lot more of Allison's music and other, both her own music, covers that she's done on her Instagram. That is on the screen. It's allison.noel with an underscore following that. So you can find her there and check out more about that. We'll also you can find that's kind of the best place to find all things Allison, as we're going to talk about in a second. So your work in music and your work as a music education as a teacher and in the school system really has, you've had a lot of opportunity to work with kids from all different kinds of backgrounds and at all different levels of their life. So that has kind of led you to in another direction with some work. You wrote a book.
Yes, I did.
And have gone into some motivational work and things like that. So tell us a little bit just about that work.
Okay, so actually I'm going to go back a few years because I actually went and got my second master's degree in educational leadership in 2016 because I feel that when you're in the educational system, you always want to grow. And that's for me, I'm a grower. I want to just keep doing and putting myself out there. Through that process, I realized I still just really wanted to be in front of people. And maybe not necessarily just kids, but maybe adults as well. So I did write this book, I'll copy right here, a motivational reset for the mindset. And this is for kids. This is for middle school ages 10 up. I have a lot of adults and a lot of educators and parents that have been reading it. And it is one of my greatest successes because I realized that in front of kids and even in front of adults, you realize how people just need to be motivated. People are lacking that way of that mindset of wanting to be better and thinking they can do it all. And people are lacking that right now. And I even think back to me being a performer and not truly believing in myself. It took me years to actually write music because my mindset wasn't there. You're always worried about being critiqued and whatnot. But when you're living in your purpose and you're living in your passion, you can truly do anything. And that's really why I wrote this book, which has now led me also into my business.
Great. And you're right, where you're also doing coaching and some speaking and things like that. So talk more about what else you're up to and on that front, based again off the work you did in putting together your book and kind of that research and what that led you into.
Right. So getting my degree in leadership actually led me on this journey as well, realizing that I like to lead and I like to present information. So after I've been motivating the kids for a while, I was like, you know what? I really want to become like a life coach or something where I can help people, help them with routine and energies and meditation and mindset, all these different things. So I did a lot of searching and once again went and got more certifications because you can never have enough. I feel like there's so much to learn.
Sure, absolutely.
I went and got a life coaching certification, a mindfulness certification, and just kind of like threw myself out there. And you'll see like the shift in my Instagram where a lot of it was music heavy for a minute. And then I went into this life coaching, mindfulness business. And through that process, I've been doing one-on-one coaching, mindset coaching. And I'm also launching a group program in a few weeks, actually, which is really exciting, hoping just to hold people more accountable and hopefully bring more people together to want to help shift their mindset. And through this process, I also decided that I love speaking. Like that's what I do with my students. I love getting up in front of people. I'm a performer. That
Sure.
is a performance for me, is getting up and speaking. So I started putting up these midweek motivation talks. I happen to have done it at the same time that my singing voice has not been great since I had COVID back in November. So I think I wondered where was the shift between Music Mondays on Instagram to midweek motivation, but I'm still working on getting my voice back at 100% before I start putting more covers out, but still using my voice, still using my passion, putting out midweek motivation talks for everybody, along with lots of quotes and just a lot on this mindfulness journey. I feel like right now we're still in a pandemic and people need help. People need guidance. And if I can do that just by posting some things on Instagram, I'm going to do it.
Great. Well, I encourage everyone to visit your Instagram page, follow you there. You've got links there to all your other things and the work that you're doing, how people can contact you. I also obviously encourage people to pick up a copy of your book that is available, online through Amazon, both as a physical book and an ebook. And to check that out, and and find out everything they can about you and the great work you're doing. I am so happy that we were able to bring you back on to talk to you. And we're going to share one more piece of music that you've recorded at the end of the show. But again, thank you so much for being here. Anything else you want to add before we go on?
Shout out to everybody in Adelphi Music, Sydney, Georgia. People aren't even there anymore. Michael, there's just some people that really were a huge part of my journey and really make me who I am today, and I'm beyond grateful for it.
Absolutely. Well, and we are thrilled that you are doing so well and that you're continuing to, you've continued your path into music education, which of course is so important, and are doing all this other great work. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And we're thrilled to talk to you.
And if anybody does follow me on Instagram, feel free to send me a message. I pretty much answer everybody, so feel free to reach out.
Great. Thanks, Allison. We'll see you again soon.
Great. Thank you so much.
Take care. So thank you again to Allison for being here. As I said, we are going to be sharing one more piece of music from her at the end of the show. So stick around for that. It is another cover. So that will be at the very end of the show. Now, coming up this weekend, we have our latest production of Best of Broadway. So to kick things off in our discussion of Best of Broadway, here is a performance from that program from this past fall.
I was standing in the bedroom when it suddenly came clear that at last I don't remember that at one time you were here. All that stuff that used to haunt me like you rode behind the door. For the first time I don't notice that they're not here anymore. And I don't remember summer, I do not remember fall. So it's possible December never happened after all. Did we trim the tree together? I can't get the image through. Cause I don't remember Christmas and I don't remember you. Later on, to my astonishment, I did not feel a tug when I walked into the living room and saw the sheepskin rug. All those pesky little echoes, they're all gone without a trace. It was good to know I could grow unaccustomed to your face. And I can't remember Easter or the rainy day we met. Did we really have some good times? Come on, tell me I forget. Did I think that you were springtime? It's all vanished in the blue. Cause I don't remember Christmas and I don't remember you. If she wants to leave you, well let her, says a practical voice in my head. Any sensible man would forget her, forget her, forget her. So Thanksgiving never happened, and Bermuda is a blur. And I'm not the type to waste time over things that never were. Were you really my obsession till our ship of pleasure sank? No, I guess I must have dreamt you, cause the whole year is a blank. And I can't remember crying, and I can't recall your touch, cause I'd never be so stupid as to open up so much. Did I really say I need you? No, the words just don't ring true. Cause I don't remember talking, and I don't remember laughing, and I don't remember wanting, and I don't remember needing. I do not remember April, I do not remember Tuesday, and I don't remember Christmas, and I don't remember you.
Thank you to Mark for that great performance from Best of Broadway this past fall. So to tell us more about the new edition of Best of Broadway, please welcome the director and music director, Megan and Stephen. Hello, hello. You guys are muted. Like, come on.
Oh no! Hello!
I mean, we're a year into this and you're still on mute.
Unmuting. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So good to be here, Blythe.
It is so good to see you both again. It has been far too long.
Indeed.
And but you guys have been working away on the newest edition of Best of Broadway. We saw a piece from the fall that was maybe a little heavier in tone, given the circumstances of where everyone was in the fall.
We were just saying we don't remember Christmas.
We don't.
Right? I mean,
Did that happen?
I allegedly.
You know,
I think I was. I feel like I was. I watched a lot of television that day. So
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a safe bet, I think. But how has the process of putting together this show been going? In particular, especially since you had the experience of the fall and going through all of that, and while everyone was still figuring things out. But now, we're still here, still doing virtual performances.
Yeah.
But how has everything been going, and how is the show coming together?
Well, I think this time around we have obviously the experience, which is making it so much easier to get to the product that we wanted to get to, and knowing how to get there just helped so much more. I think we were a lot better in terms of like putting a show together as well.
There were a lot of learning curves in the fall, and doing this, and especially with the kids having to re-record, there's really kind of an art form to that as well that I think they're still figuring out, but much stronger with.
Yeah, and much more comfortable with.
And I was just saying to her, I was listening to Mark singing that song, and I forgot that there was drums to it, because I really don't remember rehearsing, because we didn't actually ever rehearse in the same room. So we added a drummer to that track that I had pre-recorded. And for this round for Best of Broadway, we were able to physically get into the room with a bassist and a drummer. And I didn't realize it was a year ago that we actually made music, and it was in the same room for me, because the last show I had done before the lockdown was the Best of Broadway. It's wild.
Right. Yeah. Because that was right at the end of February, kind of right as everything was starting to go a little bit crazy, and we were hearing about all this stuff. And so, it was just a few weeks later that things shut down, and everything after that got canceled. So it was one of the last shows that we did that people were able to come see. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
So is there, I know normally there's like a theme or some kind of grouping of stuff. So what is, before we share the piece that we're going to share that's part of Best of Broadway, tell us a little about the theme of this particular go round.
So we started thinking about this around Christmas time, like what should be the show for next year. And I mean, at that point, everything had started to close down again. And I was really looking forward to going home to see my parents, who I haven't seen in over a year now as well. And all I really wanted to do was travel. And it was just on my mind so much. So what about travel is important? Oh, there's this song that is from travel, and or that has like the theme of, and like, oh, I love that song. And, oh my gosh, that song would be great. It's sort of like had its own momentum once we decided like, oh, that could be an idea, that travel theme. So we've got all kinds of like the thread loosely of travel, whether it's like I'm on a journey, I want to be in a different place than I am right now, or I'm literally in a brand new place.
Or even New York City, because a lot of our kids said, Meg asked this question to every student we have and said, where would you want to go? And some of them were like, I just want to go to New York City.
New York again. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially to New York City, and have there be something going on to go to, and not
Absolutely.
just be there.
The street theater of New York City.
Yeah.
Still there, but not the inside theater.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think that's a great sort of hopeful look as well, to be able to keep moving forward and looking to, hopefully not too much longer when we can all start doing that again. So this is great. So we've got one song that is going to be featured in Best of Broadway coming up. Anything you want to say about this song? Let us know who's singing it and that before we play this piece.
Well, it's from a show called Light in the Piazza, which I'm not sure that every theater goer would know, but it's one of my favorites. And you never listened to the score before this show, right?
I've listened to the score before.
Oh, you
I've
have?
listened to the score before. I never saw it live though, and I
Oh,
really regret
never
it because
yeah.
it's such a dreamy score. And we have Mallory Clark, who's a freshman. She's a freshman.
She's a freshman.
Fantastic
freshman.
Fantastic.
Great.
And Brooke Beck, who was in the fall production.
Excellent. So here we enjoy this song from our upcoming Best of Broadway.
On a central square in a city of the sun rose a palace. It was high and handsome, gleaming like the crown of a king.
Where would that be? Where is that?
In the tower, a warning bell would ring.
What kind of warning?
For a fire or river overflowing.
Oh,
Firenze, on a central square, the beginning of a kingdom republic.
was there a king? Was there a queen?
There were princes, painters, noblemen of logic and art.
Firenze.
Leonardo, Michelangelo, the star.
That's a completely naked statue.
Was a dawning day, unfurling
From the heart, the painting of the world we know.
the world we know. On a central square in a city made of statues and stories.
Wanna tell me what they mean?
It ignited there like a beacon coming out of the dark. You can feel it. You can follow. the song.
We're on vacation.
From an age to an age. In Firenze,
the painting
of the world. It started then and there, and here we are. It's a new old world to me. It's a new old world, and we are
Yay!
Yes.
So great. They did such a nice job.
Oh, and I just would love to point out that they're nowhere near each other and they're reacting to nothing and they're
Which is so hard to do.
so hard and they did so good.
Yeah,
Both
it's a until you actually try and do it, it's a lot more work than you realize, especially
Mhm.
when it's done well and it just seems so effortless and it's like, oh, I'm gonna look over here and they're gonna look at me and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all that happened, not at the same time and miles apart from each other. So
Right.
it's really great to see it all come together and to be able to add, those levels of complexity that just make it all seem so much more natural when it is not natural at all. And it is pieced together and there
Yes,
are,
something you've literally never trained for and
yeah.
still.
and so much behind the scenes work going on to pull all those pieces together as well. So it's really great. I think it's going to be a fantastic show as always. I am looking forward to it. It is coming up. So we're doing it a little bit differently this semester than we did in the past. We are going to, on Saturday, April 17th at 8 p.m. Will be the premiere of the video. So we encourage everyone to register for tickets. It is free as everything has been this semester and this year at our student productions. So register for a ticket, join us for the live premiere at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. That way you can chat along with the performers and encourage everyone through the chat and all those sort of things that are really a lot of fun. Even though we can't all be in a room together, we can all virtually join together to watch at the same time. So it'll be there at 8 o'clock. That's going to be great this Saturday. If you are unable to join us for whatever reason, or you just love it so much that you want to watch it over and over again, which is more likely to be the case,
Indeed.
then the show will stay live on the PAC's the PAC's YouTube page for a full week after the premiere. So everyone who isn't able to join when we first broadcast it will be able to see it anytime for a full week after that premiere. Share it with their friends, watch it over and over again. Really that way, as many people as possible are going to be able to see and share this music and the great work that you guys have done and the great work that our students have done putting this together. So as always, tickets are on our website. More details are there at pac.adelphi.edu. And I do encourage everyone really to try and join on Saturday night at 8:00 for the fun in the chat of all having that communal experience of watching it together.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add before we move on? Did we miss anything?
Well, gosh, we hope everyone that's watching now invites a bunch of people because it's going to be a great show.
It will still feel thrilling because for the kids, it will be their first time seeing each other and
Right.
and feeling like it's a complete product.
Absolutely. Like they've done their parts, but they have not seen it put together. They have not, even necessarily their songs, but certainly not the things that other people have worked on. So it'll be a fun opportunity for everybody to all really see everything and cheer each other on and experience it all for the first time. So it's gonna be great. That's a great point. So
Thanks for having us, Blythe.
absolutely great to see you both. I look forward to us being able to get together again in person, and but more immediately, I look forward to the show on Saturday. So
Yeah. Thanks.
all right, take care, you guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
So that is one of the many things that we have coming up here at the Performing Arts Center. Another great music event that was just added to the calendar is this Friday, April 16th. So the day before Best of Broadway at 7:30 p.m. We are thrilled to welcome talented singer and vocal coach. She's going to be doing a bunch of coaching and workshops with our students the day before. But then on Friday evening, we are happy to welcome Adrienne Danrich, who will be performing a show called My Favorite Things, with featuring songs, her sort of soulful renditions of songs from Broadway and jazz and spirituals and opera and so much more. She's a really fantastic, talented performer. Tickets to this event are also available on our website, as always. And I do encourage everyone while they're there to make sure that they sign up for our e-newsletter so that they don't miss things like Adrienne's concert that did get added fairly recently. We are still adding things left and right, and there's more to come over the next few weeks. So sign up for our email. We only send an email once a week to fill you in on everything that's coming up in the next week. So please do that while you're there getting your tickets to some of the events we've been talking about. Now, coming next week is Dance Adelphi, which is always another great show, a show that is happening completely live in the Olmsted Theater. Our audience will be watching from home, but our dancers, like they did in the fall, will be dancing live every night in the Olmsted. So to tell us a little bit more about how that is going while they are still in rehearsals and aren't quite in the theater yet, please welcome the chair of our Department of Dance, Orion Duckstein. Hello, Orion.
Hi, Blythe. How are you?
I am all right. It has been fun to watch you over the course of the show, basically completely rearrange your house and move to about 4 different positions. For a while, you had a guitar, so I was like, "Oh, he's gonna play some music while he's on." You've had your own whole show going on down there just for me, and so I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I also ate dinner, but I didn't do that on camera.
I mean, that's all right. You left for a while too, so
I thought this was a nicer background than that
Oh,
wall.
it's lovely. It's great. It's great. It's a new one. I don't think I've even seen you use this for any of the meetings that we're in together. So
No, I
it's nice. It's a little mini tour of people's houses over the last year.
Right. That's like that New York thrill, right? Where it was always amazing to see other people's apartments.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, they also have a life, and that's here's another piece of it. So it's good.
Right.
Good. Well, so Dance Adelphi is in rehearsals, has been in rehearsals for weeks now.
That's right.
How is it going? You are doing both a new piece and restaging something from your that you've done before, right?
Right, right. I try to do something to galvanize the first year students every year, right? So in the fall, usually I'll put together a 3-minute excerpt of something so they can get used to dancing together.
Great.
And this fall, I'm restaging an 8-minute version of a dance called When We Fly. And it's been seen before here a couple of times, but never with this cast. I always tweak a couple of things, so it's got a little something for everybody. And it's something that really, it always brings the first years together. And it's such a funny thing too, to be rehearsing and to teach, say one of the solos from the last section, and to have the person who did it 2 or 3 years ago come by and say, "Hey, oh, Maddie Sarver, you should see the first year doing your solo from When We Fly."
Yeah.
And they always have such a good time doing it. There's always that thing. Oh, they're doing that piece. They're going to have such a good time. And to see that kind of shared experience from the juniors down to the first years, saying,
well, and it's a nice way to bring the
part.
department as a whole together too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. So
that piece is only going to be on one of the programs, right?
Correct. We're trying to adapt to the attention spans of a stream show. I mean, honestly, right?
Yeah.
And so we're trying to keep it we're also still aware of safety protocols. So we're trying to spread things out a little bit.
Absolutely.
So doing it one night was kind of the best we could do this time around for Dance Adelphi, but we're going to repeat it in the showcase in a couple of weeks.
Oh, great.
So they'll get a chance to grow. And there's also a student whose work schedule conflicted with rehearsals, so she will be added to the piece afterwards.
Makes sense. I mean, we're all making things work however we can. Everybody's got a million things going on, and so it's nice to have that flexibility and to have those ways of kind of doing things. So as we said, things are in rehearsals. There's a bunch of pieces that are on the program. We're focusing tonight on the things that you've got going on, and we'll talk more about Dance Adelphi next week. As the performances get closer. But one thing that I think is always fun that people don't necessarily get to see a lot of and don't get to experience unless they're around dancers or around this kind of thing is actually see some rehearsal footage that you have sent my way for us to share, to give people a little taste of what the pieces are going to look like, the work that the students are doing, of them in rehearsal and working on things. So you sent me 2 things. Tell me about which one you want to share first and what this is that we're going to see.
Let's save Larry's for a second, because that's the main event, and we'll do my piece first. I think a lot of us wanted to just do something fun after feeling pushed down by this pandemic so much. And I had known that I really wanted to do something with jokes in it for a change.
Okay.
Although, I always try to put at least one funny thing in a piece, even if it's just to make myself laugh. But and I was doing a funny piece last year when we got shut down. So I wanted to do something again without just bringing that one back. So I guess the best way to put this one is like a kind of like a cross between Paul Taylor's Mercuric Tidings, which has a lot of fast dancing and direction changes, with jokes, with some vaudeville thrown in. I think the second part of the clip I sent your way was actually from just last week, when I was finally able to finish the piece. And it was really, everybody is so busy with these rehearsals, and I'm getting them literally right out of another rehearsal.
Right.
And so they're coming in already tired. It's already 6 o'clock. One or two people in the cast leaves campus to go to work for a little while and then comes back. It's, these
Amazing.
people are working really hard.
Yeah.
And then, so, ending a piece is always hard. So I came in with, it was really just like taking 2 handfuls of spaghetti and throwing them at the wall to see what would stick. All right, this works, this works, this works. Let's keep it. We got to the end of the piece. And so what you're seeing is really the first try, even at the end of the piece. And it's funny how well they do. Even though there are a couple of holes, you'll see some people standing there. And that was me just telling them, you don't leave the stage, stay on. Just stay there. It's going to be fine.
We'll figure that out. Yeah.
We'll go back and fix that. And then there's like a little cut. And then there's I have been wanting to do a canon all the way, where's my finger? All the way across the stage and back for a while. It's one of the dumbest things to do. It's like choreography 101. But because of that, I just wanted to see if it would work. I wanted to see if we could put something that ridiculous on stage and have it work.
Great. So what is this one called?
Oh, the name we came up, there's a lot of postures that I was taking from pompous people. So I'm calling the piece, unless I change my mind in the next few days, Furious Decorum Principles.
Great.
Which also sounds like a Frank Zappa song title.
I mean, yeah, well, there's layers on layers, right?
Yeah.
It's always something. All right. Well, let's take a look at this in this piece in process, from Orion and the Dancers. It's always fun when I run into you and you're like, I think I'm gonna add some slapping, and like a real vaudeville kind of whole slap section, and you're like so excited, and then you wander away, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and then later, here you go, here's footage of the slap. So
yeah,
it's good. It's
we have 2 casts, and we named them Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone a little farther back I was really thinking about Imogene Coca too, and all her physical comedy.
Yeah, it's fun. So, well, that's good. And so that's one of the pieces that'll be on the show all week long. As you said, there are multiple casts for that, and actually several of the pieces. So now we've got one more clip to show from rehearsal.
Yes.
Tell us about the other.
Well,
thing
this
for
is Larry Kegwin's. This is the second section of Larry Kegwin's new piece. The piece is titled "Circles and Squares," and it was really interesting how he made it. He came in with ideas. Sometimes they were movement ideas, and sometimes they were only structural. And he would develop the idea with the students if he only had an idea of spatially what was going to happen. And he's so playful in the studio. So to have him say, all right, I want you guys to improvise on this idea. And he already has in his back pocket, I'm going to put it in this pattern once I see what will fit. And then he'll say, okay, good, I like that thing and that thing and that thing. Do them, but I want you to do them backwards, and let's see if you can do them crossing through each other. And he's such a funny and engaging person that they just, regardless of how ridiculous the things are that he's asking, they just go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they try it, and he picked a really great cast, and they work really well together. The cast of 17 includes 5 first-year students. He
Great.
didn't know who he was auditioning.
Sure.
He just picked, people A, B, C, and D. And the other thing that's really interesting, he pairs them off in groups of 2 a lot. And he has such a great eye for who looks good with who, like who works well too. I don't like looks good is too superficial a word for it. Whose dancing is sympathetic to one another and enjoyable to take in.
Great. And I think, that's one of the things that's always so important about why we make sure to bring in a guest choreographer every semester who doesn't know the dancers, isn't someone they're working with on a regular basis, gives them a new perspective and a new way of working, and sees that opportunity. And also then, is someone who can bring out things in the dancers that, just a fresh set of eyes and a fresh everything can really find there. So I think, and having somebody like Larry Kegwin is really, just someone great for them to work with, and always great for people to see our dancers, and choreographers that are out in the world and really working with a lot of great companies. I know Larry just did a project during the pandemic with the Paul Taylor Company.
That's right.
And did a lot of things with them. So it's great. So let's take a look at a short excerpt again from rehearsal. This is still being worked on, of Larry Kegwin's new piece that he's been working on with our dancers. Great. So that is just a tiny taste of the work he's been doing and of that piece that, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, is going to be performed live in the Olmsted Theater, where they were just on stage for that rehearsal. But the live performances every night. We have 2 casts for many of the pieces. So we have a total of 6 performances. Each cast is doing 3 performances. And and there is one show that's going to have an extra performance in it. So there's lots of reasons to tune in multiple times to watch the show. It is right around an hour to keep everyone as attention as best as possible while on their various screens at home. So as I said, we'll talk more about the show next week. It is coming up Tuesday, April 20th through Sunday, April 25th. Tickets are free and are on our website, as always, pac.adelphi.edu. So I do encourage everyone to register, sign up for their tickets, watch this show. It really is going to be fantastic, as Dance Adelphi pretty much always is. It is a great mix, as usual, of there's some ballet, and different kinds of modern dance in there. Adelaide is working on something completely different and, as usual. So it'll be a really wonderful mixed bag of dance in those shows, all 6 of those performances. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, Orion. I really appreciate it. And anything you want to add before we go?
I would say don't be afraid of it. It is a really mixed bag, and you're going to come away from it with so many different ideas. And I think that the students are doing such a great job dancing.
They've really been doing great work all year, and the fact that they're just spending several hours a day in dance class wearing masks the whole time is, not something many people would want to be doing. And they're making it work.
They are making it work. Many of them are in the studios for 8 or 9 hours in masks the whole time. You've got people going from rehearsal to rehearsal, classes, technique classes in the morning to 1 or 2 academics, and then they're back in that room and in those rooms. And it's really great to see. I've always wanted to work at a place where people actually want to be there and want to be dancing. And we really have an extremely dedicated group, and it's paying off. They've developed so much, and I'm really proud of them.
It's great. It's great. Well, again, next week, Tuesday, April 20th through Sunday, April 25th, do check it out. And thank you again, Orion, for being here. Always great to see you.
Great to see you.
I'll see you later. And with that, thank all of you for watching. Once again, be sure, as always, to visit the PAC website and register for all the great events we have coming up. We're getting real busy. It is nearing the end of the semester, which is hard to believe and hard to even say out loud, but we are. And so there are performances every weekend from now through the middle of May. And soon there'll be performances almost every day. So there is no reason to miss out on any of it. I encourage you to head to our website and check that out. We have one more cover song from Allison to close us out. So until next week, please, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, get vaccinated, and I will see you again next Monday. Have a great night.